1, 2. How you doing, guys? You feeling okay? You're a good boy, Jimmy. There's another blaster sound for you, Jimmy. How you all doing? This next song is called The Vortex. Song called Doors of Light. How you doing out there? You feeling okay? Out to Fomata, how you doing? Fomata TV's in the house, give him a shout out. And Darth Rips, please. And a very good evening to you, you lovely people. How you doing? Good evening to Marco 1907, Penny Suze, Quedfito, Karen Morbis, Fermata TV. And let's scroll up and see we've missed Harmony. Harmony's in the house. It is always a pleasure. All of you, for all of you, it's always a pleasure. All of you. A good evening to you, wherever you are in the world. Darth Rips is in the house. How you doing, Darth? Jimmy Neutron's in the house. It looks like most of the gang's all here. Great to see you guys. How you doing? How's your week going so far? Is it going great? Is it going crap? I hope it's going good. I had a little break with Miss Wiggles. We went out and walked around. Did the romance thing. You know how it gets, you know. Looking like I do, you know. Gorgeous as I am. One day I'll look like Fermata TV. One day. You know. Even his music is manly. You know what I mean? It's like pirate music. Like that. Even his music. Amazing. Don't ask some good guitar players about on the net, isn't there, eh? So the first three tracks tonight, that was Time Traveller and The Vortex and Doors of Light, which is the early part of the album of Time Traveller. And we're going to go right back to Seven Bridges to Cross now and do a track from here. Fatality. This is a song called Running Into Mines. That was Running Into Minds. And from the album Seven Bridges to Cross. Let me sort this mic out. I'm trying out a new mic. That's better. Move closer. Come closer. Tonight on Universal Music. So how are we doing? Are we feeling okay? That was Running Into Minds. We're going to do another track from Seven Bridges to Cross now. And we're going to do... Let's do Hollow. Hey Penny Suze, thanks for the claps. How you doing? Hey Phil Smythe, how you feeling? Everybody, can we show Phil Smythe some love, please? Some love. Show him some love. Me old... hello, me lovers. Because he's not feeling very well. He's caught COVID again for the second time. It's awful. Oh, Phil. Hey Duncan Stein, thanks so much for the applause. Thanks so much from Marta. Thank you so much. How you doing? Give me a shout out, please, from Marta TV. If we've not already done it, go check out for Marta. I call him for Marta. He's called Bane. I think his name's Bane or Bian. Sorry if I get your name wrong. I apologise. I'm cheering you up. That's great, Phil. That's great to hear, fella. So I've had these mics in my mic drawer. I have a mic drawer. And I have like NT2As. I've actually got a Neumann in there, I think. I'm not too sure. Although I don't like it. Can you believe it? I've got some 58A betas, which I've been using for this for a while. And but I don't like the pop shields and stuff like that. So I've got a new pop shield coming for this. Because I've noticed that when I sit down over there, I use the NT1A. And I wanted something... a little bit more up front, like this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the arena show. Like that, you know what I mean? I wanted something a little bit nicer. Hey, 5 Cent Tech, how you doing? Hey, all listening at work, so going to be lurking. You lurk away, mate, no problem at all. Hey, Steve Taylor, thanks so much for the heart, the purple hearts. Thank you so much. Now, we're at 590 followers, folks. So we want to see if tonight, if we can smash and get 10 people to like what I do. Can we find 10 people in the universe to like what I do? Bian, sorry. Bian. Is it like Bian as in Ian with a B in front? If I can remember that, then is that cool? But even your name is manly. I'm Steve. All right, Steve. Even your name. I give up. You know what I mean? No, it's not. Sorry. Bian. Okay, Bian. Sorry. Please don't send like a hungry pack of wolves to my door or something if I get it wrong. Extend the R. Bian. Is it Bian? Yeah? Beautiful. Great name, mate. You know what I mean? There's just some people are cool. And I have to struggle. Like when the dentist tells you to open your mouth. Bian. Bian. There you go. Can we all say that? Everybody. Bian. Amazing. I don't care. It's great to have Fermata TV watching me. And all of you, you lovely people. Now wrong with Steve, mate. Some of the greats are called Steve. Yeah, Steve Lukather. Steve Vai. Steve Taylor. There you go. See? Steve Davis. Thanks, Phil. You're cheering me up. No end, mate. Thanks so much for that. This is what I want to know. What good question, Penny Suze. I'd really like to know this as well. Where does a Bian originate from? Is it an Aboriginal Australian thing, or is it a Nordic Scandinavian dialect and thing? You know? Oh, thanks, Phil. Steve Harris. That's even better. Tonight, so far on the show, I've done Time Traveller, The Vortex, Doors of Light, and Running Into Minds. So I want to stay with Seven Bridges to Cross, okay? And let's do the next track while we all talk about Bian's amazing name. And let's do Hollow, okay? This is from Seven Bridges to Cross. And I am, of course, being light-hearted with people on here. So it is, of course, an absolute pleasure to have you all on here tonight, and I hope you're feeling okay. This is called Hollow. I've just realised that the outro part of that song sounds like the TV show Casualty. Oh, the shame of it. Let's do Signs. This is from the Alive album. This is just for my Miss Wiggles because she likes this. Who's floating about? I'm just trying to see who's coming. Hey, Singing Planet, how you doing? Hey, Stuggy, welcome to the welcome aboard. Let's say hello to everyone. And Phil Smythe has been very naughty again. I bet he was always the naughty one at school. And he's thrown some money in my cage, which is extremely appreciated. Thank you very much indeed, Phil. You superstar. Take care, Famata. I've got to get moving. Got to get to work. Have a great stream. Okay, great to see you in here, Famata. Thank you for dropping by. I'd say mischievous. I can see it on your school report. Philip Smythe is an intelligent human being, but he must learn to stop being so mischievous at school with his classmates. He's regularly seen fraternizing with the young ruffians of the lower classes. Let's bring it down for a nice one. This is off of the live album, and it's called Brothers. That's a weird track, an odd fit like Faith Inside as well, and it took me a long while to decide on whether to put that on the album or not, because I wanted to go for a kind of a techno-y vibe with that song, but it ended up being on there and it worked out well. Happy days. Now I can see the Jukesters being mentioned in here. Wish I could crank my amp up, but life dictates not. Now we have headphones. I use headphones, Stuggy. Headphones and Marshall JMP1 preamps until I can get my Axe effects. Incidentally, if someone's got £2,800, they can just, if they could just put that in my bank account for me, please, that would be great. Because it just, you know, every year they come out with something that you got to get. You know, you got to have the latest piece of gear. Don't worry about it. You know what? You can go and download Amplitude 5 for absolutely free, and half these sounds on there will blow this one away. Will blow everything away. So it's all in the hands, apparently. Let's do Revolution, yeah? Again, this is from the album Alive. Singing Planet says, I woke up from a dream where Kenny was yelling at me during his stream for asking too many technical questions. That doesn't sound like much of a dream, Singing Planet. He's always yelling at me, I wouldn't worry. The Jukesters, I'm listening, not at the computer. But hello everyone. How did he type that out then? Amazing, the tech he's got. You wouldn't yell at me. I think I'm doing one of my instrumental songs with one of these Miku pedals. So he goes meow 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 like that. Just, you know, so I can be up with the hipsters. I'm late to the game. I have headphones, but my amps are mostly Valve that love pushing air and don't have the funds for some new thing to plug into amp, etc. to make it. Dabbled in PC guitar stuff, but too old school. I know where you're coming from. Upstairs I have two 1978 Marshall Master Volume 2203s, and I had a Plexi at one point, a 59 Plexi, not an original, I should add, and they were just way too loud, and the ones upstairs are just way too loud. But what I'm running at the moment is Marshall JMP1 preamps, one here, and I have one for live as well, just with a MIDI verb with some delays in. That's all I'm using, an OG1. That's all that is. They're not speakers, they're demolition equipment. I mean, the amp heads are very loud, but the actual rating of a 50 watt is about 87 watts, and 100 watt is about 97 watts, and 100 watt rating is actually 180 something watts. The actual music volume, PMPO, whatever they call it. It's actually really loud. I don't think I've ever got mine, because I used to use the JMP one. Thanks, Stoogie. But that's the I've used JMP1 preamps. These ones. Let me turn on the net cam and I'll show you what I mean, Stoogie. Here. These ones here. I've used these since the 90s. And I use any reverb. Before that, I had art effects units, any MIDI verb, anything that give me delay. I'm bonkers about delay. You'll notice I've got no reverb. It's just delays. And I'm bonkers about delays. The reason being for me is that live I actually prefer it because it keeps the sound up front, and reverb tends to sort of push the sound back a bit, which is great for these kind of things, you know. Yeah, I've got bad tinnitus as well and hearing loss as well, Stuggy. I can relate. I think you'll find that most rock guitarists have some form of tinnitus. Even people like Satriani and Vai, they'll never admit it, but they must have. An interesting theory that when I had hearing problems in 2018 is, and this is going to sound this is going to sound odd, but they first took an X-ray, an ultrasound, to see if there was any kind of tumor or anything in the ear. Yeah, and there wasn't. Thank God, there was no abnormalities found. But the guy who assessed my hearing said your low end is fine. You haven't lost any low end. He said, but there is some high end loss, and he didn't seem that concerned. But I've, for years, even as a kid, I used to have Michael Jackson's Beat It on full blast in my headphones every day. And it's only now, I'm 46, and it's only now I'm starting to get, like, tinnitus, like, where it's noticeable. But it was very bad in 2018. It was like an alarm going off in your head. It's always the top end, and I don't know anyone, even you'll people like Rick Beato and Ola Englund, all the big YouTubers, they all mention it regularly that they have. And it doesn't stop them, and it doesn't stop me. I can still hear top end, whether or not I'll be able to hear 16K and above is very debatable. I doubt it very much, but definitely 12 or 14K I can definitely hear. And I'm lucky because I've got decent monitors as well. So, I would like some PMCs, but or Adam A7s, but I've got the Yamaha HS 80s, and they're really beefy. So I'm lucky in that regard, and also the amount of monitoring that we have we have digital monitoring and level VU meters and stuff to tell us when we're clipping and stuff. So we're quite lucky in that regard. But now I mean, the funny thing is, I used to wear headphones quite a lot. That's the funny. I used to wear earplugs regularly, and I just got fed up with them. I could never hear anything. And now when I wear them on gigs, I really struggle to hear my vocals. So I just angle the PA in and bring a monitor with me or something, and I hate it. I had IEMs. I've got some in a drawer over there, Shure ones. I can't stand them. It just sounds like, they sound like this. That's what you guys hear. But in my ears, in the IEMs, you hear that. I hear this. Where's all that top come from? Where's all the bass gone? So yeah, it's a struggle. It's a real struggle to. So I just took them out and I use headphones, and I love using headphones. At the moment, I'm really stuck on these Sennheisers. I think they're amazing. But I must get some Roland ones. I've been checking out what to get, and I have white noise playing all night. Nice tropical storm. Now here's the thing. Try brown noise, Phil. If you can go into your digital audio workstation and get some white noise going, you can get Brownian noise. Pink noise is good as well, but Brownian noise is like the sound of distant traffic, and that we basically just shelve everything above 800 kilohertz. Just shelve everything from there, so just the low end, and you'll find that works really well as well. Oh wow, now I'm paranoid, wondering if what I hear when I sing is the same as what goes out. How would I know? Well, this is the important thing. You know, one of the things with Twitch is that they don't really let you test your stream, and I'm quite I had a year on YouTube unlisted, playing to family and friends each week out, tweaking until it got to a point where I know kind of the levels what I need. But the biggest trick that I've done is if I come and sit down for a minute and talk on the other mic, then I can explain to you. Let me just hang up my guitar for 5 minutes, yeah, up to 10 seconds, and I'm going to come and sit down and chat with you, and I can have some water and chill out with you guys for a little bit. Then I'll get back and I'll do all the heavy stuff as well, okay? So I'll see you in a sec. Give me a few seconds. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Here we go. Howdy doody. Yeah, so what I was saying before about... let me move this closer. Yeah, what I was saying before about tinnitus and hearing loss is that a large majority of people don't realise they have hearing loss, and they won't go and get it checked out. But when you do get it checked out, and they tell you what is lost, for instance, if Miss Wiggles, my Karen, if she speaks to me, her S's, if she's not close enough, and I'm literally talking like that, if she's not that distance, how you doing, Darth Rips? If she's not that distance, then I'm really struggling to hear what her sibilants and S's are, and that's a real problem for me. But once they check it out and find out what you got, then that's the half the battle. Then they can sort of either fit hearing aids or they can do things. But hearing aids are never as good unless you get the real expensive ones. And the guy put hearing aids in for me, and he said, play the best song. No, he didn't. And he gave me hearing aids, and he walked away and turned his back to me, and he started talking, and I could hear every word he was saying. And exactly, in the world I'll eat your souls. And he said, clearly you can hear absolutely fine. I said, but the ringing, I got to admit, it doesn't really bother me that much now. I don't really find it a problem. Even sleeping at night, because we've got TVs, and I can watch my favourite movie like Indiana Jones or something, and before I know it, I'm off to sleep. So I think the most important thing about hearing loss is that once it's detected, and you get help and support for it, then you can make have a game plan about how to go forward, how to protect your hearing further, and how to and whether or not you need hearing aids, because some of them modern hearing aids are amazing. They're fitted with Bluetooth, and you walk into a room and they hook up to the TV, and people like guitarists like Paul Gilbert, they have really bad hearing loss, to the point where he just couldn't hear the hi-hat when he was in Mr. Big, and he's a well-known case of the fact that he liked it loud and he suffered. I remember turning up once I did a gig in Ilford, near London, and I had two 2203 Marshall heads and two 4x12s either side of the stage, and the JMP one was the stereo, the left and right was coming out, going into the head, the power amp input, and it was the only mod that Marshall made. It was the only modification that they did at the time, where it went straight into the phase splitter of the 12AX7 before it hit the EL34s, and I think it cost me about £8, something like that, £8. It was really cheap, and it meant it turned the head into a really good glorified monoblock power amp, basically really good power amp. Only the presence control worked because it went straight round to the HT, and that's it. Marshall did that mod for me, and it was the first time I took it out. I run my JMP1 left and right into either of the heads, either side of the stage, and it's just like, it was just this huge roar. And Jimmy Neutron, hearing loss sucks. It does. Your father has Meniere's disease. It kills your inner ear. Not a lot of people realise your ears are also how you balance. I've noticed that my balance sometimes is off kilter. I've noticed, and I used to be, as I've told people before, I used to be a skateboarder for years, and I wouldn't get on one now. I still cut my decks, but Meniere's disease. I think that's what the guy Huey Lewis has from Huey Lewis and the News, where he can't actually hear the pitches of the notes. You can't detect them at all. It's just white noise. It's just garbled. That's a similar thing to what happened to me in 2018. Everything was distorted at the frequencies of the... Hey, McDonald's Trump, thanks so much for being a forward follower. Thank you. Welcome aboard. And the 3 smallest bones in your body are also in your ears. Yeah, you got the stirrup and the anvil and things like that. But the nature of what happens with hearing loss is heavy metal and jackhammers will do yours. Yep. I know several... a friend of mine, Chris, who's a chippy... he's a chippy, and he's got some serious hearing loss from the machines. He wears hearing aids now as well. But what happens in the ear, you've got a thing called the cochlea, and it's got fluid in it. And there's different hairs of different lengths that vibrate to different frequencies. And what happens is when they're stunned and they're shocked by the too high decibels, they go stiff, and then they die. And every now and again, if you noticed when you have tinnitus, you'll get this, and it will die out. You'll get a note that will come in. Apparently, that's one of the hairs in your cilia, in your the cilia hairs in your cochlea. That's one of the hairs dying. Apparently, there's quite a lot of them. But there's the interesting thing about research about it is that they have fish. That's more of your hearing dying off. Yeah. That's right, Singing Planet. And the interesting thing about there's a certain type of aquatic fish, and it can regenerate the hairs. Yeah, don't worry, don't freak out, Phil. And the number one thing as well is that tinnitus is a nervous. It's to do with the signals from the brain as well. So hey, Percyog91, thanks for being a forward follower. Thank you. And so don't the main thing is not to get stressed out about it. Recognize that it's happening. Say, okay, I've got some hearing loss. Okay, I'm just going to deal with it and move on, and don't let it rule your life. As I say, I regularly do session work for studios, and I'm going to put Lemmy in my ear. Yeah, for those who don't know Jimmy Neutron, Jimmy is a member of my After Hours. What up, mate? Greetings from Brazil. Can you play Rocket Man? I can't play Rocket Man, I'm afraid. So sorry. This is an originals stream tonight. We're doing original music, instrumental rock, like Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, that style of music. But I'll do covers on a Friday as well. So, but stick around. It's great to have you in here, Percyog, and thanks for the follow. Steve Taylor, my dad gets that, but he is very lucky because he only got the mini ears in one ear, not both, so he can still walk around and balance. He needed a bit of physio, but he did it. Good on him. That's great. I didn't realise that it can only affect one ear. That's really interesting. When I was at sixth form college, I took A-level biology. Phil will know what A-levels are. I studied quite a lot of we did classification of the species and things like that, but I studied a lot of the brain and how the nervous system works. I'm not a doctor nor authority on it. I'm a musician. So, but what I do know is that Steve Taylor, my friend's had it in both ears. It's bad. That's a real shame. I hope she's doing okay. I hope she's getting treatment. It can be treated. It can be treated with drugs. That's the thing. Many ears can be treated, but it can be controlled a little bit. Yeah, but I do know that there's a nerve. Sorry, there's an auditory nerve that goes all the way across the top to the other ear. That's why in music, when we like hearing things in stereo, because the actual stereo is actually delayed. So if you have a guitar and you record a mono guitar and you pan it left and then record it again, what we call double tracking, if you go back and record it again and pan it on the right, and on the right hand side, that's where you get that spaciousness. And if you pan them out, because you don't want guitar right in the center of a mix, you want it out of the way for the vocals to sit in the middle. And one of the cool things about when you're in a studio a lot is that you learn about this 3D curve where the volume pushes the sound closer to you and away, and EQ makes the sound go up and down, and panning makes the sound go left and right. So you have this three-dimensional volume, EQ, and panning that you can use, and you can literally put things. If you're used to your room, that's another thing. I don't tune my room at all. There's no bits of foam on the wall or anything like that. I don't do anything like that. You get used to the room, I believe, but that's just my own opinion. All right, but when you get used to the sound of a room, you can place things here and then here and then here and over here, and you can place things spatially closer and further away, and it's once you do that, you then have a three-dimensional view of your mix, and so yeah, even with some hearing loss that I get, and I noticed that I've been wearing headphones a lot, and I noticed that sometimes I have them a little too loud, but you know, Stuggy says no padding in rooms, same as not having reverb. We just deal with that. There's an interesting article if you go to recordproduction.com. If any of you guys are up with recording and engineering stuff, go check out a guy called Steve Lipson. Okay, do you know what? I don't know whether I'm gonna. Well, go to recordproduction.com. If you want the link, go to my Discord. Craig Fito, if you can just give a link to my Discord. If you want the link, I'll post the link about Steve Lipson. Now, Steve Lipson is Trevor Horn's right-hand man. Trevor Horn from the Buggles, okay, and he has done Yes's 90125, which is one of my favourite albums of all time. It's also Karen, my wife, wife's. I say partner, wife, my better half. Okay, it's one of her favourite albums as well. 90125 is an amazing album, and it was done analog as well, which is amazing too. Now Steve Lipson talks about this a lot, and Steve Lipson says that the interviewer on this recordproduction.com, if you type in record production Steve Lipson, you'll hear the interview, and it's in a room. It's quite a few years old now, and he said it's quite ambient, this room, isn't it? Yep. Have you thought of sticking loads of foam on the walls and everything? He went, yep. You're going to do it? No. I think you can get used to anything. Now, Steve Lipson is probably, I mean, he's done Annie Lennox's Why. He's done loads and loads of pop records. He's a big cheese. So I don't work at that level. So if people like that telling me, I don't need to stick loads of foam on the wall, I don't. What I do have when I record is I have the SE reflection filter. And if I say, for instance, if I'm singing into this, or this mic, or if it's over there in the little booth I've got there, I'll put the SE reflection Pro filter around that, and that definitely does make a difference. And I'll tell you why. Because when you go to actually mix, you do a recording. Say if you sing something without the reflection filter on, and then sing something, the same thing again with it off, it sounds exactly the same, which is how it should be until it comes time to mix. And when it comes time to mixing the actual track, I find that wherever the volume I put with the one with the reflection filter on, whatever I had the volume set at, it would cut through the mix. I wouldn't have to work at it. Whereas the one that didn't, because all the reflections of my vocals were bouncing back off the wall and going back into the vocal mic, I had a hard time making it fit in the mix. So there we are, folks. That's how you kill a live stream, by talking about tech stuff and hearing loss. But it's true. It's for me, because you know, as a musician, you have to do everything yourself. You have to sort of, write the theme tune, sing the theme tune, do everything yourself. And learning about that stuff is quite interesting, because you really you pick up a lot of info from those pros like that. I suppose I could stick loads of foam on the walls, but this guy, you didn't kill it. Oh, thank you, Steve Taylor. Thank you. I'll get back on in a minute, okay, guys? So, if 10k people can watch some chicks sleep, well, yeah, less said about that, the better, Singing Planet. I can talk for a minute. Thank you, guys. So far, we've done Time Traveller, The Vortex, Doors of Light, Running into Minds, Hollow, Signs, Brothers, and Revolution. Okay. So yeah, we'll get the hot tub out. Hot tub time machine. I've still got Beyond the Stars, Faith Inside, Dust and Flames, Ghosts, March of the Machines, Journey's End, Overload, Solitude, Alive, Far Reaching Sun, Shine, In the Dark at Last, Seven Bridges to Cross, My World. It goes on. I've got a good hour at least of non-stop music. So, but yeah, the main thing with talking about hearing loss, it's I used to be afraid about talking about it and wanting to. I used to be afraid about. I didn't want to speak about it. I wanted to just brush it under the carpet. But face it and deal with it and get it seen to if you can. And also don't stress out about it. Roger Taylor, the drummer from Queen, suffers very badly from tinnitus, and he went and saw a top Harley Street surgeon, specialist in tinnitus and hearing problems. Paid a fortune to see him, and he said that it just goes away over time. And he taught me some meditation techniques, and it does. It gets better. The brain eventually blocks it out. So take it easy, folks. It'll get there. You'll get there with it, and you'll solve it. You'll work around the issues, but protect your hearing. What's left of it, protect it. I use Eggs, EGGZ. They're called Eggs earplugs. And I really rate those. They're really good. But there's some called Heroes as well. Oh, a little ding has just gone off in my ear as I've been talking to you. So yeah. So that's the hearing loss is something that's not gonna improve. It's permanent, and when we have a wake up call like that, just protect what's left. Put the hearing aids in. Stuggy says, I think we get to an age where we can talk about the downside of loud music or headphones when practicing, etc. Best advice for any new guitarist. Yeah, there goes my G sharp 5. Yeah, right up there. I think I'm going to tell you an interesting story. My actual doctor, my GP, regularly goes to download and loves Iron Maiden. I'm genuinely serious. I have an Italian doctor, and she regularly goes. She regularly goes to concerts and everything, and she suffers herself from pulsatile tinnitus. And she knows what I do as an occupation. She knows I sing and I play guitar and it was quite interesting saying that, because years ago when I was in a band, I used to play with one of the members of Iron Maiden. Who's just the sweetest guy you'll ever meet, Tony Parsons, and he was in Iron Maiden for about 3 or 4 months, I think, and did the Soho Soundhouse tapes and stuff. And while I was in that band, I got to play with Les Binks a lot from Judas Priest, and I regard him as a mate. Les, he's a lovely fella and a great drummer as well. And they all have hearing loss. They all have lost some hearing, and guys like Nico McBrain and Steve Harris and. They've definitely got major hearing loss. Don't think they haven't. No one gets away. Eric Clapton is virtually deaf now. He said so himself in interviews. So, and they just carry on. And Jeff Beck suffers terribly from tinnitus as well. And it doesn't affect them. Ed Sheeran. I don't know whether you guys are into Ed Sheeran or not. I like the fellow. I have to say, he comes from Framlingham, where me and Miss Wiggles love to go. Me and Karen love to go to Framlingham and visit and walk around Framlingham. We love the town and Ed Sheeran was born without an eardrum on one side, and I think he jumped off a boat and perforated his other eardrum at one point as well. And I think he's only got one good ear of hearing, and so it hasn't affected him making. Don't do any jokes. Here we go. Here come the jokes. It hasn't affected him from having any. Yeah, he's a lovely guy. He seems like a really nice guy. So. It hasn't affected him making some great music, and he is awesome with a loop pedal. I see so many people on Twitch with an amazing loop skills. Something I'm going to have to do when I do my sit-down chat and jam things. I would love to do some synthesizer-y loop things in Reaper. I know Reaper has a looping thing in it, and I haven't got time to learn. I know I started out on Pro Tools. Can't stand the thing, hated it, switched to Cubase. Well, I'd been using Cubase a few years before that. Cubase is my main DAW. But during the lockdown, I switched to. There we are. Yeah, big talent, headline Glastonbury on his own. Phil? Have you seen his Chewy? Have you seen his Chewy pedal board? It's called Chewy 2, and there's a guy on YouTube that's made. If you go and find it, there's a guy on YouTube that's made an Ed Sheeran replica thing. And what he done is he got a laptop, took the laptop apart, and put the laptop screen in a pedal board, and made MIDI foot switches to control it. And he took the power button of the laptop and made it. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool. But there's actually a PC program that will let you loop as well. So obviously Ableton Live, which Phil Smythe, you're very good at Ableton as well. You're very good at that. You must show me how you do all that one day. I kind of know how to do it. I kind of know what's going on. I kind of can take to tech quite quickly, but it's great to see other people use it well, and that kind of thing. So, but the only issue I have with looping, and it's a personal opinion, and that's all, is that it takes ages to build it up. That's my only thing. Hey Melissa Dar, how you doing, darling? Hey Melissa Dar, good morning to you. You all right? Melissa Dar in the house. Can show you my limited skills anytime. Well, it's pinning you down, Phil. It's pinning you down. You're a busy boy. You're a busy boy. I message you. I message you. I say, hey, Phil. Nothing. You're a busy boy. You're a man of action. You're out about the town. You're out and about. We'll hook up. We'll sort something out, Phil. You know. Great to see you. Great to see you, Melissa Dar. So much on right now. And my wireless unit at the moment, what am I using for my wireless unit? I'll show you. It's in my pocket. When my car got broken into in 2012, they took all my gear, and I use these. And there's this. Look, it's got elastic bands keeping it on. Look at that. And it's a Line 6 G30. It's brilliant. I think this cable costs more than the actual Line 6. This cable costs this is a Sommer cable from Germany, and it's amazing. I love Sommer cables. Yeah, I like the sounds about the same as when Steve messages me. Tumbleweed passes for hours sometimes. Yeah. I message Credfeater. Everyone ignores me. It's fine. I don't mind. I'm used to it. You know what? I don't mind talking too much. It's great. I like to keep busy. Which one did you throw away, Phil? I know several students of mine that have gotten the G50, and I love the G30s. I'm not really a fan of Line 6 stuff, I have to say. I've had their plasticky, them plastic things, what they called, them pod plastic things, and they're awful. I'm sorry. I'm really not a fan. They've got 55,000 sounds in them. Yeah. G30 could never leave the stage without it cutting out. Never had a problem. I put my transmitter on my pedal board, so I was always no more than about 5 or 10 meters away from my pedal board. Never had a problem with it. But I had the I was just talking about gear before. I had the Line 6 what's it called? The Pod XT Live. That's it. And hated it. They got 55,000 sounds in them. This is before they brought out Helix, which I really do like. I'm hoping to get either a Helix Stomp or an FM3 Axe-Fx this year, if I can save my pennies up, so I can retire my JMP1s. But yeah, the Sennheiser range are always good. The Sennheiser are great. And the old pod things, they had 55,000 sounds in them, with amps, effects, pedals, everything you could think of. Anything but a usable guitar tone. They had things that went and all this and done all these effects. Amazing. But you really just wanted a good overdrive tone and a good clean tone. And then you could maybe put some... I'm a meat and potatoes guy. I like things very simple. Believe it or not. I'm going to make everyone laugh because I'm all technical. But I like things very, very... just posted my XT Live to you yesterday. Can I tell you a story about that, Phil? When I sold the XT Live, because I got fed up with having to calibrate the wire all the time. When I sold it on eBay, the guy that bought it messaged me saying it's broken. And Ben the Rat Creates, how you doing? Those red kidney shaped pods were a crime against humanity. I'm sure people make them sound amazing. I'm really sure they do, and good luck to them. I know lots of people that have pod XT Lives that they sound brilliant, but whenever I pick them up, I just there's a latency there, and there's some kind of fizzy EQ-y thing that's in the way, you know. But other than that, you know, what have the Romans done for us? You know what? It doesn't matter. I had this conversation with hey Nosy Eye, how you doing? Singing Planet says looping is a cool thing, but I don't have the attention span to sit through it. By the second pass, I'm off with the fairies and I'm lost. The Tetris game. Well, yeah, it's kind of Steve Taylor. I think, yeah, you're right, but I've tried quite a lot of the things. I like Amplitude. I do use Amplitude when I'm doing my sit-down chatting and jam things. I use Amplitude 3 and 4, and I really like it. But I even then I only use a couple of plugins. Don't use much. I'd like to get my hands on an Axe Effects. Everyone has been raving about them for years and years and years. I've tried a few. I've used a few on sessions. I've used a Kemper, which I loved. I really thought Kempers were great. I still think they're great. There's the amplifier. I think Formata TV uses the amplifier. I know Pete Northcote uses the Axe Effects stuff and raves about it. And they all get good tone. I think the major thing that people miss is in this hand you're feeding critical information when you have a pick. Now these picks, I get these picks made custom for me. They have my name on. Can you believe this? And I'll tell you a story about this. These are Delrin 500, and they've got a lovely little chamfer. Can you see the curve on that? They're really nice. And I get them made by Ernie Ball, but there's a company called Custom Delrin. There's Custom Picks in America that now do them, and they got the Ernie Ball license and they can make them. And so I no longer have to go through a shop or and everything, because I'm a sole trader. I don't have to go through a company. And you buy them in 800. And they said to me, I'm going to tell you something about this is interesting. They said, do you want... it's no extra charge. I said, I want them in white. These are the same ones that Ingve use. I use 1.5mm. So they got really good memory. They bend, but they return to their original shape, which is what you want. You don't want any picks that have the tensile strength of a crisp. You really do not want that at all. You want to learn to control how hard and how soft you hold the pick. That's just my own personal opinion, okay? And they said, well, for no extra charge, we can put your name on them. And I went, oh, okay, all right. And I wanted them in white, because if I'm on a pub gig or I'm at a club gig before COVID, when they fall on the floor, you can see them. So I had 800 picks made in 2012. Credfito, next week Steve will be playing and using a Packet Walker's crisps. No, you don't know. Hey, Chill Factor 17, how you doing? And no one can say they're years. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I bought 800 in 2012, and I've got, bear with me, this is my last bag. They come in 4 bags like this. There's 200 in each. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Looks like a bag of heroin, doesn't it? It's not. And these, yeah, I've probably got about 60 left. And I'm going to tell you how much they cost. They cost £120 back in 2012. So 10 years ago, 10 years I've used these 800 picks. They've lasted me, and they wear out as well. They wear out. They're not the Delrin. I like the way Delrin is. It's got a very smooth attack, and it's very good, and good memory, as I said before. And they wear out, and I've got loads in a wooden box that I can't use anymore. And so 10 years ago I paid £120 for 800. So do the math, work it out, how much each pick costs. And I thought, well, I only want them in white. I don't want them any other colour. And I only want them with just my name on like that. And when I get them made by the company, I'm going to send them a photograph and say, that's what I want, just block lettering, that's it. Yeah, use the gravities. 4mm are great. Stealth 4mm are great. I used to work on my alternate picking in the 90s. What I used to use was stylus picks. Have you guys ever heard of them? Which teaches you not, where that's the string, and it teaches you not to go down. It teaches you to just rub the top of the string, which is what you need to do. You know, Stuggy says my old jazz picks from the 90s were like that. Gert Lush picks not the same now, right? Yeah, the old jazz pick. I used to like the red Jazz 3s. For a while I used them, but they're too small. I used to like the stubbies, the Jim Dunlop stubbies as well. The big stubbies with the big indentation for the thumb. They were great. The 3mm ones, they were really nice, but they were a little too trebly. I found they'd give a little bit too much top end, and I have quite a trebly amp sound. It's very 90s sounding, the preamp, the JMP one. So I have to be careful. What all the little tiny details really make a difference to my sound. So Cliffs of Adelaide and Ben the Rat Creates, and any new people, you're fine. I'm just having a sit down for 15-20 minutes, and then I'm going to be back on and doing at least another hour and a bit of playing. So stick around. I'm going to be getting back on and doing another set of Steve Ford Live, my original music. You're a Jazz 3 man, moved from stubbies to the Jazz 3. Nice. Hey Darth Rips, how you doing? Hey Cliffs of Adelaide, great to see you. Ben the Rat Creates. I recently found a stack of picks that I had carved edges into in the early 80s before Dunlop made the scalloped edges. Yeah, Dimebag Darrell did that a lot as well. He would get razor blades and make slash marks in them to get grip on them. But I really I've gotten used to using these picks over the years. I'm like a magician with these. I used to keep them in my pocket. I think that's a good thing as well. Yeah, I took my pick. No, I didn't. It's got my name on it. Yeah, that's it. It just so happened. It's not an ego thing. It just so happened. They said, "Do you want them with your name on?" And I said, "Yeah, great, okay, do them." They said it's no extra charge, but I really like Delrin 500. Really, really, really like the material, the plastic. It's fantastic plastic. Good pick is like another finger, yeah. And sometimes I will use my fingers as well, especially if I'm having to do some Dire Straits stuff or anything like that. I will use my fingers to play. Of course, Jeff Becker's a genius at using his fingers with things like that. Gets a really good tone, doesn't he? Okay, guys. This is fantastic to chat to you all like this. Give me a couple of seconds. We're going to switch over and we're going to go back to the main performance part of the show, and I'm going to do some other tracks from my instrumental albums. Okay, so stick around, and it's great to chat with you all. I really like doing this, and I really like your comments. I really appreciate you sending me all these comments and getting involved in the chat. It's something I want to do more in all my shows. So, okay, I'm going to start doing it at the beginning of my Friday Night Rock show as well. So for the record, you gained like 6 viewers during this talk too. Thanks, Steve. That's great. Thanks, Steve Taylor. I really appreciate that, because if you've got some questions you want to ask about my gear, or you've got some questions, I'll try not to waffle and I'll try and answer. If you've got, or you can just tell me about yourself, tell me what you're doing. Yeah, we got to get to 600 tonight, guys. We definitely got to get to 600. I would really like that. I'd like to smash it. It'd be really cool. Okay, let's get back and make some music for you, because that's why I'm here, guys. I want to make some music for you guys. Okay. Okay, see you in a bit, guys. Hello, hello, hello. 'Tis I, Leclerc. Me back again. Okay, so what we're going to do this time is we're going to go and we're going to do something from the Alive album. Let's do something like Just Can't Stop so I can jam out and get the old net cam happening. This guitar net cam. Yeah. Let's just see if it's all working. Sounds okay. Okay, let's do a track from Alive. This is a song called Just Can't Stop. Just can't stop there, guys. And again, that's from the Alive album. And straight after that track comes Signs, and then after that is Beyond the Stars. So what I'm going to do now is I want to switch over to the Time Traveller album, and this one, and I want to do something from later on in the album. So let's do Ghosts and then March of the Machines, okay? So I'm going to do these two back to back. I'll do these two tunes back to back. Thanks, Chill Factor 17. Yeah, indeed. Let's do Time Traveller, and let's. So I'm going to play Ghosts on this guitar, and then I'm going to switch guitars. Screen will go black. I'll switch guitars, and then we'll go straight into March of the Machines, as the album concurrently does. Okay. Okay. Here is Ghosts. Take care, Harbuni. Good night to you. Thanks for watching the stream. Thanks, Chill Factor 17. Thank you for the kind words. Okay, so directly after Ghosts, we have March of the Machines. Here we go. Thanks so much, guys. That's kind of the heaviest song that I do, really, off of Time Traveller. Let's stay with Time Traveller and let's do a song called Dust and Flames. This is just for you, Jimmy. Here we go. Do like that tune. Bit of a rocker. How's the guitar coming on, Jimmy? I'm going to switch guitars. Let's do something off the overture. Let's do Solitude. Actually, no. Let's do Overload. I want to do Overload. Let's do Overload. This is off Another World. I'm working on this album as we speak. Hey, handsome Dave. How you doing? This is a song called Overload. Hey, Doll Songs, great to see you in here. Good evening to you. Thanks so much for the bits. Let's go right back to the first two tracks on the first ever EP that I did all these moons ago. Great to hear Steve is powering away with his usual energy. Thank you, Doll Songs. Great to be here. You're sounding great. Thank you so much indeed. Let's not speak about sounding great. You have an amazing voice, Doll Songs. It is amazing. Everyone go check out Doll Songs, please. Give her a follow, give her a like, and watch her streams because she does opera stuff, and it is amazing. Opera stuff. That's so bad, isn't it? She performs a classical operatic repertoire. There you go. Let's do the next song. And these two songs are interlinked together, and these are always a challenge for me because back in my 20s, I'm 46 now, 20 years ago, I used to... thank you, Tall Ludwig. How you doing? Back in my early 20s, I used to do all sorts of crazy stuff on the guitar. So we're going to do My World, and we're going to do Seven Bridges to Cross, the title track. So if you've never heard the album before and you put the album on for the first time, you're going to hear My World and then Seven Bridges to Cross. So we'll do them in order. Here we go. It's just frenetic pentatonic. Thanks for the bits, Dole Songs. Thank you so much. It's just frenetic pentatonic soloing, and all in in sequencing. It's like that. It's just bonkers, isn't it? I should never have written it. I wish I'd written a song a bit more sweet picking it. That'd be easier, wouldn't it? Okay, I'm going to switch guitars now. And then we're going to do the title track from Alive, which is more of a heavier riff for this album. So let me just change guitars, and then we're going to do this one. Thank you, Leslie Summer, for the gifted subs. Very, very kind of you. Thank you so much indeed. Great video. Thank you for the cheers. Thank you for the 500 bits. Much appreciated. Oh, I'm going to just find the hole. Look, I've got to find the hole. There you go. Thank you so much indeed for the bits. We've got a little hype train happening there, but it's cool, guys. Thank you so much indeed. Wow, level 2. Okay. Let's do the title track from Alive, and it's called Alive. Thanks so much indeed, guys. Thanks for the bits, guys. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you for the 500 bits, Leslie Summer. Thank you very much indeed. Take care, Phil. Wishing you well, buddy. Take care, and just give yourself some TLC. Yeah, COVID is not nice, man. You just gotta give yourself, at least a few days. Just bed rest, loads of water, mate. Okay. Doctor forward. Okay. Thanks so much for the support, buddy. All right. I'm always in Discord if you need to chat. Okay. I'm always in Discord, mate. Night or day. All right. Just message me and I'll pick it up. Okay. You know. Like Credfito, I messaged Credfito and he immediately replies. It's brilliant, he is. He knows I love him, really. Okay, let's bring it down. Let's go to the Overture album, which was more of a classical-based album, an ethnic music album. Let's do the fourth track after Lucifer Crucify. Let's do the fourth track. And this is called Solitude. Thanks so much. That album is quite an interesting album. Overture was written in direct contrast to Seven Bridges to Cross and Alive and Time Traveller. I didn't know there was Alive and Time Traveller going to come out actually, but it's Overture is the red EP and Seven Bridges to Cross is the blue EP, the first one. The first two EPs, and I remade them completely from scratch in 2018, and it gave me a good opportunity to work on my tone, my compositions, and my writing. Most of the tunes that I mean, these are all my original tunes, but most of them are influenced by something or other. But quite a large proportion of them are written on piano, especially Signs and Ghosts, especially Ghosts. You know, like a D minor, E flat, D minor, A flat, D minor, E flat, A7 sus4, and that kind of movement where it uses tritone substitution all the time. Yeah. Sometimes I'll use pivot chord modulation, and sometimes I'll use secondary dominance when I'm composing. But usually when I'm doing it, I love tritone. It's just odd sounding, you know, like that, especially in Ghosts. To E flat, and then we have a modal interchange, so it's A minor, then an inversion there, D major with the second inversion A in the bass, and then like that. And that I actually sat down and wrote that on piano. I wanted to actually score it out properly. But I didn't want to leave it on the piano because I like the lyrical nature of the guitar, and that's why sometimes when you see me playing, I'll be very linear when I play on the guitar. I'll sort of play along one string. It's from my working things out on the piano, my early years when I was a player, and I really like that lyrical sliding nature, you know. Hey JD, how you doing? I'm enjoying it even more after last night's behind the scenes. Oh, thank you. Those songs, so great that you've done so many originals, Steve, and great video clips too. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. What I just wanted the with the covers as well. I do videos with the covers as well. I just wanted something so people weren't just staring at me all night. I wanted something so it's like a movie thing, like, you know. That's just my own. I'm just geeky like that. I want to do things like that, and but great to have you all in here, guys. Thank you. Okay, so moving on. What we're going to do is we're going to go to... let's have a look. Let's do... Yeah, let's do Far Reaching Sun. This is a belter, this one. This is the final track of Seven Bridges to Cross. And... this is, you know, most of my melodies, melodies very anthemic. I don't want them to be too widdly complicated, you know. Let's see if I know any classical. To love the Bach's Badaneri. Have you ever heard Have you ever heard James Galway, the flute player, do that? That's amazing. It's an amazing. What's the other one? I learned quite a few. I actually teach classical guitar for some of the schools, and I really got into the Bach lute suites. What's the other one? I've forgotten it. It's years ago, but I used to love playing those and things. Let's have a bit of fun. Blimey, that takes me back. I used to love working out things like that, classical pieces, get the scores and work at them. I'm such a slow sight reader though. I'm really bad. Yeah, I used to play little bits of that in the. All that kind of. I used to years ago. It's going back because that's my first instrument, organ. But I love all that stuff. There's a redeem in my channel points. I'll be Bach, where I do a improvised toccata and fugue thing, but I need the octave divider to give me the organ sound and stuff. I don't have it on me at the moment. So yeah, the other one was what's the other one? Let's try and see if I can get a net cam up for this. I used to remember this one. I've forgotten it. I got it so well. I was doing so well. But you, every time I try and learn, I do a new Bach piece. So every time I try and do Bach, there's some videos of me doing Bach's, the prelude and things like that. And there's a prelude in C minor, the preludio and it's like. Yeah, then it goes to a B, like that. And on the piano, I'm trying to remember it on the piano, and it's lovely. I think that's grade 4. I'm doing grade 3 at the moment on ABRSM piano. So, and I love that. I love it's all music. It's all notes, and I love that there's this thing on my Discord. Where I talk about there's a thing called guitar lessons where I talk about unlocking the neck, and it's talking about Howard Goodall done some really interesting things on equal temperament, and I could wax lyrical all night about things like that, about equal temperament and how it just changed everything, and how Bach, the well-tempered clavier, those pieces just completely changed, and proved that all 12 keys could be played in major and minor. Could be played in this tempered tuning, and there are in fact 19 subdivisions, I think, to the octave, and we abolished 7 of them to give us the 12-tone Western system. And did you watch the video? Yeah, it's so amazing, and about how Pythagoras. I mean, a lot of it he's left out. He's left out a lot of stuff, but that stuff excites me so much, because for me it's not about guitar and pedals and gears. For me it's always been about the notes, the scales, the chords, the harmony, and Bach is just, he never wasted a note. He never wasted a single note. I don't know whether it was because he was quite religious or he believed that music was from God or something, but hey, thanks for the forward follow. Thank you so much indeed. But I don't know whether it was that or Bach was an interesting guy. I think he fathered 22 children, or married twice, or 14 children or something. I can't remember. He was an amazing guy. He was very active. But I the way he died with his eye surgery and everything was just really awful. Just an awful thing. And he was virtually blind by the end of it. This quack of an eye surgeon decided to operate on him. Got any Paganini? Something like that. I remember looking at his 24 Caprices for violin years and years ago, back in the 90s. So now the other 25. Yeah, and I don't think he wrote 25. I think it's more than that. Can't remember. And I like the story about Paganini. Forced. The term Faustian to look gaunt and devilish and evil. It came about, I think, from Paganini's thing. People were shocked, and it was very gaunt and thin, and wore black clothing and very flamboyant. And he used to make women faint when he played on stage. His technique was so amazing. That's some of the best music, as Frank Zappa said. Some of the best music is written by people with wigs. I don't, we're all frauds compared to J.S. Bach. End of. That is it. We are all but a speck of dust compared. If aliens came down and wanted proof that there was any intelligence, just play them the complete works of J.S. Bach. That will sort it out. The only other guy who gets my attention is Beethoven and Mozart, the big two. But I am a big fan of Franz Liszt as well. I'm regularly. There's a piano player called Paul Barton, and he's done a version of Liszt's Un Sospiro, and it's just breathtaking. His technique ascends beyond the level of technique into it's just pure emotion. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I recommend you check out Paul Barton, Un Sospiro, a sigh. I think that's Un Sospiro. I think is a sigh. I'm not too sure what it means, but anyway, if you type in Paul Barton, Un Sospiro, you'll be blown away. Again, I've posted that in my Discord, so. Singing Planet says, to be fair, what else was there to do back in those days? All he had to do was eat mutton and go to church. He didn't have Twitch taking us his day. Yeah, and it's Barton's execution is breathtaking. It is, isn't it? So shall I let me do a final number and close this evening out, and then we'll raid someone. Okay. I want to thank you all so much for your time on a Wednesday evening, and for watching me perform and talk and wax lyrical about music. It's so great to be part of this community, and I will be back Friday at 9 p.m. with my rock covers show. This will be available on Twitch, but my covers get moved across to YouTube, and they're available for subscribers only in the Twitch VOD thing. So because you're frowned on if you do covers, I'm afraid. Classical music's fine, you're okay, but I mean for rock covers, I think something needs to change doing covers. As I said a couple of weeks ago, I did all of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon and most of The Wall and Shine You Crazy Diamond and Wish You Were Here as well, and some stuff off The Division Bell. And I thought YouTube was going to block it all, especially when I did the whole of Dark Side of the Moon, and it didn't. So that's available for subscribers as well. You can watch that as well. So let me do. Let me end with Journey's End. This is the final track off of Time Traveller. This one, and we're going to leave it with like that tonight. And I want to thank you all so much indeed. This is Journey's End. I want to thank you all very much indeed for watching the show tonight. Everything you've heard has been created by me in my studio. All the compositions, the production, the mixing, and even everything that you see here is all done by myself. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching my SFLive show. I will be back with the Friday Night Rock show this Friday, doing loads of classic rock covers. And thanks so much indeed. Let's find someone to raid. Thank you. Thanks Dual Factor 17. Thanks Jimmy Neutron. If you want to leave a comment, I'll give you a shout out. Okay, guys? Let's go raid Darth Rips. We've never raided Darth Rips before. Let's go raid him. He's a lovely fella. And I really like the fella. Let's go raid Dave. Let's go raid Darth Rips, okay? Thanks so much indeed, guys. This video will be available back to watch on Twitch, as it's all my own work. And the Monday Blues session will be back next Monday, and that'll be up as well. So the Friday Night Rock show this Friday. I'm looking forward to it already, guys. Take care of yourselves. Let's go raid. And thank you so much for all your support and your bits and your subs. Thank you. Much appreciated, guys, okay? Thank you for enjoying and sticking around. Thanks.